Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't used it in a while. I know when I first started streaming, I used slobs, and yeah, it like. But I had a one PC system. Now I have two, so I mean, I can run a lot of stuff on my other one. So, but yeah, it was Artesian. Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I heard is that most of their computers, looks like, especially like here towards the end, they started, I guess, just throwing them together. I don't know. Trying to get, well, they probably had such an influx and didn't have what, it was only like two or three guys that were actually building them. So I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, you ready for this? All right, I'll do a little quick intro and then we'll jump right into it. So cross fingers, hope everything works. No, no, no.
I'm just saying, it was just like a instant click in my head.
If you mention them in a tweet, they retweet it, they'll respond to it, they'll talk to you. Like it's not just like a bot. Like
I really like what they do for our veterans that are involved in our with our veterans.
I mean, I don't see anyone else with what they're doing. That no one else has a content library like they do.
They were kind of crude and funny, and they kind of like messed around with it a little bit. And I was like, I feel at home here.
I looked at, you could go into Twitch and see the channel analytics. You know, there's a decent percentage that comes from Get Wet Sports. So Get Wet has definitely helped me with that.
All right, it does work. How's everybody doing? It's not the right scene, but it'll work. All right. Yep, all mics are working. Hey, it worked for a change. Anyways, welcome everybody to Get What Sports. This here's a special Saturdays edition for the military appreciation. We're going to be talking with a few of them as we go down the road. But tonight we have Bravo Gaming, and I'm really excited for him to be here. He's going to be telling us a little bit about him, his career. If he wants to get into some of his military stuff, we can do that. I don't push that because I know a lot of the times that can be kind of touchy, but and some things you can't talk about still. So anyways, without further ado, one thing, if you guys don't know what Get What Sports is an online creator library. It is dedicated to giving creators another avenue, another route to help with discoverability. It's a website that is full of awesome creators of different genres, different gameplays, different backgrounds, and everything else. So it's a good place to interact and get to know everybody. But with due, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to get on with let him get on with it since this is his night. First, I want to sit there and say thank you for Darlington Sears for being here. I appreciate it. We got the stack up crew here tonight, so that's always good. But anyways, welcome. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. It's actually a nice day out today. I didn't get out and do nothing. I was lazy, sitting here most of the day.
I should have worn my stack up shirt.
Yeah, I got one back there in the back. It's hanging up back there on the coat rack, actually, I think. Yep. But yeah. So I'm gonna shut up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where they can find you, and yeah, just all that good stuff.
Yeah. So my name is Bravo. Well, aka 11 Bravo 4 Gaming. I was in the military for 10 years. I got medically retired for due to having PTSD, like combat, like severe combat related PTSD and traumatic brain injury. Let's see. It started content creation. I want to say last March. So just like as an avenue to like deal with my anxiety and my depression, which and for like a year or so, like I was thinking about doing it, and one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Like, what's to lose if I don't make it? At least I can say I tried. You know. Um, but besides that, since StackUp is here, again, thank you guys. You guys gave me a PC last December. It's been helpful in this journey because I had a really bad PC where I couldn't really stream too much, and now I'm able to stream a lot more and create content. But besides and moving on, I'm a father of 4 kids. One of them actually is like, I'm not going to say terminally ill,
Oh,
but he was born July 28th of 21, and he has pulmonary hypertension.
oh
And so
man.
he's it's a fatal lung disease, and he was in the hospital for 7 months. He was at a hospital in St. Pete, Florida, and he was transferred to Texas. And actually, when he was transferred to Texas, he did a 180, started getting better, and they actually released him back in March.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
so he's been home since March. So like streaming has kind of gone off. Like I was going live like 5 days a week, and now it's like maybe 3 days a week. So it's like I go off my my wife's schedule
Yeah.
when I can go on. So it's usually Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Everybody can catch me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Trovo, um, Twitch here on Twitch, and I'm trying to look for other avenues. So my goal to start off was to help with my PTSD, and then so I've connected with a lot of veterans and first responders. So now I've turned my whole agenda into like making content and like talking about mental health and doing a whole bunch of mental health stuff for veterans, first responders, active duty, even everybody else, right? So I have a podcast coming out. I'm also part of an organization which we work with you guys is Valhalla Esports.
Yep.
And like that's where I'm going to be doing my podcast from, is from there.
Oh, cool.
So I'm a community manager over there, and within the last year since we started, we've grown dramatically, and I think that's because we're open to everybody, and we're not specifically just a military organization. We are open to everyone, and that's really helped us. So I think we started in September, and from September till now, we're almost at 900 members, and um, we have 2 comp teams they're getting their feet into the comp scene now. We have one building with Rainbow Six. So I think our 2 comp teams are Call of Duty. We have one in the works for Rocket League, and we just started getting our practices and scrims in with our Apex team.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so we're but we also have a ton of other creators. Like we have one, I think her name is semi thick thighs,
Mhm.
and she does workout. So we're not specifically just like comp and like pro players. We're everybody. So like if you do Legos, like I do Legos sometimes on Sundays for content. Like it's open to everybody. So it's not like one of the organizations like Phase where it's like they take content creators that are cracked at games or Optic. Like we literally will if you want to work with us, we will definitely work with you. So
So yeah, you make it about the creator instead of about the game.
exactly.
So
Like we have our cracked guys like and they're cracked, but we definitely want to focus more on like just creation itself and just be happy across the board with everybody. So
yeah, Valhalla's a growing and an awesome org. I know a few people from there. I've met you through there. I've met we had Bailey Light on last weekend. I met her through there. Just
and
interacting.
let me
with
tell
some
you, she's
people.
an amazing creator. Like she is. She's funny, but she's also an amazing creator. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I kept telling her. I kept kind of embarrassing her. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna go far just because you're just doing you, and that's one of the
yeah,
thing is you just got to do you. But so
I mean, yeah.
oh,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say that's basically me in a nutshell. So like in the military, I was in the infantry. Like I said, 10 years. As you can see, like Bravo 4 is the classification for a sniper.
Mhm.
Even though I really can't say that because Geneva Convention deems it inhuman. So I'll say a marksman. But yeah. So and I was also a dog handler.
Oh,
I
nice.
worked with when I first deployed to Iraq, they put me in a mine detector class. So I had to learn like mine detector sweepers. I think so. That's why like I went more towards the dog handling side, like towards the end, and work with bomb dogs.
Oh,
Is because like I had that, and they're like, "Hey, you have bomb stuff. Do you want to go do this cool program where you work with dogs and go find bombs?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Sounds like a great idea." And then deployed to Afghanistan. My last deployment in 2013, and we actually like walking in front of a convoy with a dog just kind of sucks because you're an open target, and when your dog finds something and you see like it like it hits and your dog just kind of freezes. Like my dog just froze and would look at you, like turn her head and look at you. Yeah, like you get that whole like the whole pucker feeling. You're like, okay, let's come back here. I'll give you a toy, and I'm running back to the vehicle if anybody's watching. And yeah, let's get out of way and wait for EOD to come in.
oh
Um,
wow.
my favorite, my like going through and doing just clearing missions through houses with my dog. So like we had one where we found a Mujahideen member, like an old Mujahideen member. Yeah, like it was
Wow.
he's probably like 60 or 70, and he was like so like my dog hit in a shed. So there was a bunch of like gas jugs in there, some cylinders, and this guy wasn't a mechanic, so that like you're not gonna have cylinder heads and like like bore cylinders if you're not a mechanic. You're not gonna have that along with like gasoline jugs. So we're like, yeah, like what are you doing? And we found like a bunch of license plates for like United Emirates and Abu Dhabi, Dubai. So like, yeah, why do you have like 7 license plates? We found the old Afghanistan money, the rupee, and whatever they had, and I forget what they have now. Like we found like a ton of that, like buried away in this shed. We
Jeez.
found the old Mujahideen jacket, their beret that they would wear. We're like, yeah, so like something's fishy here. Like you're saying you travel there and you have license like multiple different license plates for where you're traveling. I'm like normal civilians don't have that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
and but
you seen a lot of
yes,
action over there, didn't you? Then.
yeah. So my first deployment to Iraq, it was just it was a complete terrible show with IEDs and stuff. So I know I got blown up a lot, like personally in vehicles. I got blown up a lot, like I think probably like 13 times, and that was 2008. So
Holy
that's like way
cow.
before they started caring about the brain. So it was like if you weren't bleeding from the ears or the nose and you could talk and you could move, they're like, oh yeah, you're good. So
Oh wow.
um, it wasn't until 2013 when they started caring about brain injuries. Because I know there was a couple times some of the guys when they got RPG'd and it was like it didn't hit them, but it was like in front of them, they got concussed. Like, hey, if you get one more, like you're done. like because one of the guys had like 2, and they stopped him from going out because they were afraid he was going to get that third one and have him go home for the rest of the deployment. So he stopped going outside the wire. My second deployment, well, my first deployment to Afghanistan, but it was my second in general. Like I've had 3. Like I've never experienced anything like that. Like Afghanistan's a completely different monster. So
Oof.
like my first deployment to Afghanistan, I was with 101st, and we went to a really, really hot spot, and it was Paktika, Afghanistan. So it was in the Paktika province, and we were in Sharbaran. And I think our first 60 or 6 months in country, we had 75 firefights,
Wow.
35 to 40 air assault missions, including those firefights, and we also had like 35 QRF missions. So like we had no downtime. It was like our platoon, even though we were shorthanded and we had casualties, um, our battalion and our division were like, hey, you guys are doing the most damage. So like anytime our platoon got called up for other companies' missions, we were the leading assault. So it was like we never ever had downtime. So it's like as soon as we came home from an air assault, it was clean your weapons, shower, sleep, and then within that time frame, we would get a phone call to go out. So
Man.
it was not fun. Even though I did have fun, and that's where most of my trauma's from. So
So with the lack of sleep and everything else that you guys had, and just constantly on the move, I mean, I don't think you'd have to worry too much about I mean, I'm not saying this, the mental
Yeah.
strain that you have to put on yourself of staying awake, because I understand that because I don't sleep as it is anyways, and so I know what it goes. I know when sleep deprivation and stuff hits. Did you ever? How'd you combat that kind of stuff?
I think we got enough sleep. We at least got 6 hours of sleep. So
Oh,
like
okay.
that was the one thing that we harped on was get your weapons clean, and as soon as you're clean, like so I was a team leader, so I was the last one to go to bed or at least for my team. I made sure they cleaned their weapons. We cleaned them together. And it was like if one guy got done early, they would pick up another guy's weapon or like whatever pieces were left that need to be cleaned. So we all got done at the same time so we could all get to sleep together. So
Okay.
it wasn't like one guy was in his room, so we all find somewhere like somebody's room, and we alternated rooms just so we could all like shoot the shit and talk to each other and um, really get to know each other. If we didn't know each other, like we had some guys that came in during deployment, and like we would just sit down and talk and really get to know each other, so that it was that bonding moment. So like if anything were to happen, like you knew everybody's got each other's back, even though we were going to, but it's more of a personal reason.
Yeah.
And so
So
because
having
I always thought camaraderie was the best thing, and like I didn't want to have anybody, at least in my team, not know each other.
yeah, yeah, because I mean, just the fact of being able to know if you know each other, then I don't know, it's gives you a little bit more of a reassurance about being with the team.
Yeah,
And plus, you got to trust your team, especially in that kind of stuff.
yeah,
So, I mean, oh, wow, that's just amazing. I mean,
yeah. I mean, sleep. I mean, sleep was hard to begin with, but I think the one thing that hurt us the most is during that time frame, Pakistan was stealing everybody's stuff
mm,
because our connexes would be shipped to Pakistan. And so as soon as they landed in Pakistan, some connexes got raided, and one of like our companies got raided.
oh
So we
man,
lost all our cold weather gear. So it was like when winter hit, it was like we still had summer sleeping bags that we brought with us over country, and we're still waiting for like resupply of all the cold weather stuff. And it didn't happen until like winter was almost over. So we were
oh
having like
man,
night missions in snow with like summer sleeping bags. So like winter was miserable. Like I got to understand like World War II guys on the Bulge,
yeah,
how they had absolutely nothing. Like we were freezing our asses off, like not sleeping. We'd rather stay awake and like breathe in our sleeping bag so we stay warm or cuddle with each other. So
yeah, no, yeah. See, a lot of people. I mean, I knew it got cold over there, but I thought it's a desert. You wouldn't think it would get like too cold, but I guess our
yeah,
desert over
Iraq. I
here.
mean, so Iraq would get colds in this aspect of like you're going from like 145 to 75 degrees at nighttime. So like it would actually feel like wintertime. But
Uh,
Afghanistan in the mountains, like we actually had like there was some times where we didn't even go out because it was snowing, and it was snowing so bad.
Really?
So they would call off missions, and then right as soon as the snow stopped, our mission would get called back on and be like, "Hey, you guys are going out. Have fun in the climbing the mountains in the snow." So
Man. So you not only had to worry about everything else, but you had to worry about Mother Nature on top of it.
yeah, like rain didn't stop us, which
Yeah.
sucks. But I'd be like, yeah, hopefully snow stops us. But no, snow didn't stop us. Took vehicles everywhere.
No snow days, right?
Yeah.
So how long was you in the military for?
10 years. Well,
10
close
years.
to. Yeah,
Wow.
close to. Yeah. I got med boarded in 2015. Started my med board process in 2014. So that's where I found out like if you have mental health stuff, the military is not very fond of you. So like no matter what I did in my career, I got looked at as like I was a turd because I was seeking help. So and I know that's like that stigmatism is kind of gone,
Yeah.
but um but yeah, like I remember like if I remember as a team leader, like somebody was trying to like go to sick hall and stuff, I always be like, man, you're just finding a way out. And then when I was going through the med board process, and I didn't really have much on my record except for like a couple like injuries that I had to get looked at. They're like, how many times you go to sick hall? I'm like, I never went. They're like, yeah, that's not a good idea. Like, if things aren't documented, then you're not going to get percentages from the VA. Like, it's going to be like a hard case to prove.
Oh,
So
wow.
like all the guys that went to sick hall for like little things, but like, oh, I tweaked my knee and like I just want to go get it looked at. And if they actually wind up having knee issues because of that, it's documented and they'll get percentages later, which is a good thing now.
Yeah.
But back then you're like, yeah, no. And then um even though I was an E5 at the time, I was still getting treated like shit by everybody that was like higher like E6s, E7s and stuff like that. Just because I was getting help because I was having like some of my buddies were like, yo, you like I changed from the deployments over time that they knew me and they're like, yeah, like what's going on? I'm like, I feel fine. And then I went to go see somebody and like, yeah, you're not fine. And I wound up because I wasn't fine, I went to an inpatient program and like because I didn't know what was going on with myself, I went to an inpatient program and um really that's where I like really learned like how traumatic PTSD is to different people. So it's
Yeah.
like where I went, like you would learn about like military sexual trauma, like combat trauma or like garrison trauma. Like because there was all these different you would hear these people's stories about like what was going on and like it was eye opening like that it was happening in the military, which now like when they talk about it, be like it's still hush hush and there's people try to cover it up, which is it just
Yeah.
needs to come out and like get dealt with and which is I wasn't happy about hearing like that stuff. So or even going through it with myself, I was like, how are you gonna treat me like this? I was like, I was good, like, and then you're gonna treat me like shit. So
Yeah. I know because when I started my college, because I went to college for psychology. I know when I started, I think it was like 2 or 3 years into before I did it, there was this doctor in certain areas that tried to do like a volunteer program because, like you said, they just don't. Once you're there, you're there. They don't want to really do nothing other than just push you out in the field and get you to do what you need to do. But I thought it finally kind of interesting that there was this, I can't remember what the doctor's name was, but he started a volunteer program at one of the bases over there in Iraq. And basically, if you felt like, like you did, like you needed somebody to talk to or whatever, you could sign up or go into this group meeting type thing. And supposedly that was like he's trying to get like a beta program going for future deployments and stuff like that. I don't know if it ever happened because I lost track of everything and quit following it, but I just didn't realize, and listening to your stories and stuff like that, I just didn't realize that it was as bad. I mean, I knew it was bad because I know people come back over from PTSD and stuff like that, but I just didn't realize how bad. And yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. I think they need to do more for the mental health, because if your mental health isn't right, you're not going to be able to function at all
yeah,
over their period.
exactly.
You think
I
that
think
that would be
now
like
they're
right on the top of their list is make sure they figure that out first.
I think because they've had so many military suicides and like and like if they, I don't know how they find out this information because I don't know if they go to mental health or if like they've like these guys like talk to their talk to their friends about like what was going on in their head and then like a suicide would happen and they would try to figure out like the investigation would happen. Um, like if how they came about this, but I know like now like I've have a couple friends that are still in and like they harp like they're harping on mental health so much now because it's one, it's ruining the force that they have, like their combat effectiveness.
Yeah.
So like if they can start combating it somehow, some way, which I think is just, in my opinion, to cover like bases, is be like, yeah, this guy's getting help. Let's make sure he's staying help, but make sure he's combat effective.
Now, in your opinion, do you see that if they start implementing this kind of stuff, to where they help combat the mental illness or the mental strain and stuff like that when you're in there, do you think that when people get out of the military from moving forward, that we might start seeing less and less PTSD cases?
See that, I mean, I don't know. I think that's a hard thing to like discuss because it's they could go there, but they could be not talking about everything, right? They
Yeah.
could just go and just for the person themselves, they could just be like, I need to come here because I'm told to come here and talk about something that is true, but they're holding off on other things that could be affecting them, right? Because maybe one, they don't maybe trust the system. Because one thing when I learned is like when I was talking to my therapist in the military, is my commander would still find out everything that I talked about. So he would,
Oh,
it,
really?
yeah. So it was like HIPAA doesn't like
Yeah.
HIPAA works in the military, but it's not like if some things are said like that could be harmful, like in a report comes back to them. So like he would snarkily make a joke and be like, "Oh, this happened, right?" And
Mm.
I would think about like how would you know I talked to a therapist and then um one of my buddies that was a first sergeant at the time in a completely different in a different unit in installation was like, yeah, he's like the commander first sergeant and the upper echelon always see the reports for mental health. So like whenever they'll be like, yeah, a guy from this company was talking about this, and it just highlights things that are said, not the entire conversation. It's just highlights of what was said. Um, and I'm like, what about HIPAA? Like that's like a complete HIPAA violation. Like HIPAA works in the military, but it's also not. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it made me not want to talk, right?
Yeah.
So I would go and be like, "Yeah, I'm not doing all right. I'm doing okay. My medication's working, or it's not working," and then kind of just walk out of the room and wait until I got home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Wait until I
crazy.
get out, and then actually get VA help. Which at least for me, I know a lot of people don't have a solid VA. Like they have a lot of VA issues, and for
Yeah.
me, I haven't really
Oh, that's
had
good.
that. I've had a solid support system in the VA, and yeah, I mean, I've had a couple bad eggs here and there, but as soon as I realized they were a bad egg, I always asked for somebody else.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
I'm glad that worked out for you. Yeah, because there's so many people. I've got friends that are out, been discharged from the army and stuff like that, and have to deal with the VA, and it's always a constant battle with anything that they do with them. So,
yeah. I mean, the only issue I've ever really had is like big VA, like trying to take away my disability and stuff. Like I'm at 100% perm. Oh, I was at 100%, and like at that point, I think it was like 2018. They were trying to get rid of people that have 100%. They were trying to trying to get their ratings dropped because that's a big payment the VA has to
yeah.
pay out. So, and I also was married. I had 2 kids at the time, and now I have 4. So, it was, so I was making a decent amount of money. So it was like I went through the whole thing, and I had to like go into. I basically had to go into a trial
Mm.
because I fought it all the way up, and like I had to do like another eval. Where like, yeah, this guy's 100% permanent total. Like they wrote this in the notes, and I still went to the trial and never like I did the trial, heard nothing until like 6 months later that they dropped the case because it was a mute point because another evaluator was like, yeah, this guy has 100%, and it's permanent total, and they were like, yeah, we're like you have 100% permanent total, and I've been left alone, so I'm hoping like for another, I think it's like 2 years, if they don't say anything to me, like they can't take it away.
Okay.
So like it got backdated to 2016, and I don't know if it's 5 years or 10 years. Like I know I've heard two different things. I know 5 years they won't even talk to you anymore.
Hmm.
And the one evaluator was like, he's like, you have 100% permanent total. Don't even talk to them about like wanting anything else. You don't want to bring attention to your name. So I was like, all
Wow.
right, yeah. They're like, just just leave it alone until after a certain amount of time, and I forget what that time frame was, but
Wow. So that's just crazy. I mean, like I said, I always knew it was bad. Like I said, and I've had 3 brothers that retired from the military, from the army, the old army. They've been retired for quite some time. Um, but yeah, I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. I wouldn't. I can't imagine what you've gone through. But I do want to say something I forgot to say in the beginning. I do thank you for your service. And
thank you.
what you did, especially after you told me exactly what you did. I'm very thankful for your service. I'm very thankful that you're here with us today. Because
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to talk about like some things. Like there's just some things I won't talk about, but
yeah,
um, but like just talking about like my experience, I think that's why I do it. Is I want, if anybody's listening and it's like they they've experienced something else like that, like because it's everything's different, but there are scenarios where they're kind of the same.
yeah,
So I mean, that's why it's like I want to be a voice that like people can be like, hey, come talk to me about it down the road if they ever hear it,
yeah,
So it's be like, hey, because it's like so it's some of my community when they come in streams, like we like I'll stop playing my game and we'll just talk about like if they got something going on, or like if they have like a mental illness that they don't want to fully talk about, but they'll just briefly mention it, and we'll just talk about it for however long we talk about it for, and then I'll just go back to my game. And but yeah, so
no, that's great.
it's definitely been helpful for a lot of my community.
No, that's great. And I think there needs to be more communities out there, but the unique communities like yours, um, building that with the freedom to be able to come in and talk about whatever you feel that you need to talk about. I mean, that's awesome to hear. And
Especially in like Valhalla, we have a an LBGT community
mhm,
and then we also have two different mental health communities. One's for the military, and one's like for our military members, and one's for everybody else. And it's like there's always talks in there. And it's good to see that people are open and talking like about,
yeah,
so if they had a shitty day, like, and they already deal with mental health, and they had a real shitty day, and somebody's always there to listen and then like talk them through things. And so it's refreshing to see that, instead of
yeah,
somebody talking about something and then just falls on deaf ears, or nobody responds for like a day or two. Because I've been in a couple communities like that where I'd be on the smaller side, but like you would go in there and somebody said something and you're like, man, is this guy okay? So it's like reach out to
yeah,
him, and doesn't you don't hear anything back for like a week or two, and then they're like, thank you, I appreciate it. But
yeah,
so I definitely love that our community for that, is everybody's loving. I don't think I've seen anybody hateful, or because if they are hateful, they'll be gone. But
yeah.
like I haven't seen any hateful remarks or anything else. So
Wow. So have you started your podcast yet, or is that something you're still working on?
it's about to be finished. I've just been doing the overlay stuff. Like I have the whole synopsis of it, and I have like the questions that I would send to um whoever's coming on to
Mhm.
talk. So it's like they can be like, I want to talk about this, or like I like this question I'm not gonna really touch on.
Yeah,
So it's like what is ever up to the creator to like talk about, like how we're talking. It's just the floor is like the guest is floor. So like whatever they want to bring up, or if they forget to talk about something, be like, hey man, do you like what about this? So it's like the questions that you do want asked, you can tell me. So
yeah. No, it's nice. Yeah, I think there needs to be more out there. Are you going to be doing that on your channel, or are you going to do that on the
I'm
Valhalla
gonna be
channel?
doing on Valhalla's, but I'm
Okay.
like it's gonna be Valhalla's, but I'm also gonna do it on mine.
Okay.
And the good thing with Streamlabs is like I can do that. Like I can hook it up. I can have two different Twitch pages, so I can have Valhalla's and I can have mine
Oh,
going at the
nice.
same time. Like I can restream it, or I can always restream it, like hook it up to restream and just do it that way. So
Yeah.
like I can have multiple ways of it going out there.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's awesome. It's awesome to hear. I'm glad. I'm glad to see that organizations like Valhalla and stuff like that are taking a deep interest into the mental health to want to do that. So that's awesome. Kudos to them. Because I know it's a touchy subject, and like you said, a lot of people, because of the idea, they go into other people's streams and stuff like that, and they just kind of get not really pushed to the side. But it's not a big. Well, I don't think a lot of those streamers understand or know how to touch on the subject. So instead of doing something positive to it, they just, like you said, they just kind of shove them to the side.
I know there's quite a few that that I do watch and stuff, and that I follow. Like they're huge mental health, like they're huge into mental health, but it's more so like they don't want people talking about it in their stream because they don't want to get people triggered.
Yeah.
Which I totally get that.
Yeah.
But in like my opinion, I'm like, what if this person's trauma is like something that had like yours, and they have different ways to cope with like what was going on, right? Like it's not gonna be the same exact scenario, but like as long as you can talk to me about like what's going on without like 100% going to detail,
Yeah.
like suicide, I can definitely see like somebody like wanting to like commit suicide and like reaching out is a little bit touchy on stream because somebody there could be a suicide survivor, which I think I would probably hold off on and say, hey, reach out to me on like Discord, because I would gladly 100% end my stream right away just to talk to you one on one. But I think that's where I would draw the line, is like unless it's like do or die type deal. I think Dr. Lupo had something like that happen on one of his streams a year or two ago, and like he was like, I need you back in my stream tomorrow, and then he came back in. So I think that's really the really touchy one. I know there's some other ones, but I don't really want to bring them up. So
no, and that's what a lot of people need to realize is like a lot of us, come into these streams to get away from our our daily activity or our daily mental grind. I mean, I know this is why I do it, because this is my I guess you classify as my safe place, because I know I can come in here and I can tune out the rest of the world, so I totally understand it. So yeah, that I hope it works out. I know it's going to work out for you. So I hope that gets to be something that, from what you've told me, your experience, you're experienced in it. So to me, that shows, or that's a lot more than being educated in it. Experience comes first, and then education comes second when it comes to something like that. So
I know, like, definitely the inpatient program that I went to. So it was in Texas. It was called Laurel Ridge. It's in San Antonio. When I went there, like, it was a big component of like understanding what PTSD is and how it affects your brain. So like we would have like brain classes on like I don't even know how to say the word. It was like the octamelo, which is like your thinking process in your brain. How like in the military it changes. Like they change the way your brain works. So like you could have a small one, and then because of like everything that you've been through and the way you're training, it's going to be big, and then like and that's where like you learn about your fight, flight, and freeze. Like I never knew that in the military. Like that was never anything that I've ever learned. And when I went to Laurel Ridge, I learned that.
yeah.
So it's like everything about the brain I learned, and I was like, wow, this is not good.
Halsey, thank you for the raid. Welcome in. Welcome, raiders. Welcome to the Get Wet channel. We're doing a special tonight for military. We're talking to Bravo, and he's given us kind of some of his experience about what he witnessed in the military and stuff like that, and giving us some insight about what he's going to be doing with a mental health podcast for Valhalla. So welcome. Thank you for the raid.
Love raids.
I know. It's like, we don't have any, that's one of the things we're still working on for the channel, is like raid alerts and stuff like that. And I know a lot of I don't want to use them on the podcast and stuff because I don't want them to interrupt everything, but no, I appreciate you, Halsey. How you doing? How's you doing? How was your stream?
So I don't even know where to go now, because I know my wife tells me I have ADHD. So it's like when my brain starts going all over the place and like I'm moving all over the place, it's like I get sidetracked. So
Oh,
But yeah, like
guilty.
going back to the whole mental health thing, it's I know people touch on it and like have people with streams doing it, but it's like when I watch them, I'm like, especially for like military, like I know there's some creators that are military creators that do it, and there's I just think there needs to be like a more safer space because I know there's a lot of hate raids that happen from
Oh,
military,
yeah.
and thank God I have SiriBot because one day I went in and I checked, I had like 1,000 or 1,000,000 blocks
Oh,
from
wow.
SiriBot. Yeah, and it's just like military suicide 22 or like some crazy name. And I know it happens a lot to other creators because they don't have it and like they'll just
Yep.
get hate rated and it's PTSD, non-survivor, like it's
Jeez.
crazy names, and I'm like, man, that's like everybody has a hate rate on every type of tag you have for Twitch.
Yeah. It's funny.
So
I was trying to reset the tags. Chris, thank you for coming in too. I'm doing good. I think we're doing good. It's a Saturday and we're here and I'm doing awesome. But yeah, I was trying to put, they've got everything else in here, like all the other tags, but they don't have anything for military. They don't have a military tag.
so they do. If you type in veteran or disabled veteran,
Oh, okay.
they
I didn't
have
think so.
the tags, and that's how they're found.
Okay.
So like they have a veteran and they have disabled veteran, and they put that in like I want to say
I did everything else but veteran.
yeah, like 7 or 8 months ago they put that in, but it was like like they really never really talked about it. It
Okay.
was like they kind of just did it, and I know at the time I was in regiment, like, hey, they put this in. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna use that. And then I mean, I rarely ever find anybody from that tag.
Yeah.
It's usually just chatting that I find people on that they
Yep.
come in and they start talking. So
I do have to agree though. If you guys have never heard of SiriBot, it's actually a pretty good bot. We have it in this channel here. Just for the fact because we do have a different, variety from the LGBTQ to the military to different things. So yeah, if you guys don't know anything about Siri, it's a pretty good bot.
yeah, it's definitely helped me. And I love how like when you get into the chat, it's like Siri bot entered,
Yeah.
and like so I have it like when I'm not in stream as emote chat only, and like it'll come in and be like emote chat off. Like it's like I love how it's implements itself into your chat
Yeah.
and it changes everything. And then like I never even know when people come in or if somebody's blocked because it's like because the database is constantly running for names that are like on the ban list
Yeah.
that SiriBot has, and it just automatically, without telling you, just bans them from your chat, and
I probably
you'll
should check
never
ours
see
because
it.
I've implemented it and I know it goes on because it does the same thing like you said. It says SiriBot is entered. But I guess I need to go on the actual because it's actually a Twitch site that you go to, and then you basically connect your site to his Twitch site, and then
Yeah,
it's pretty cool how he's got it set up.
it's like /join, and then it'll be like, okay, you're joined.
Yeah,
Like it's like, okay,
it's like it's it's pretty intelligent how he's got it set up. That I mean, I kudos to him. But yeah. Hey, so when you started streaming, did you experience any big hate raids or anything like that, or before?
I didn't.
Okay.
Like I seen it like from like secondary, like watching like YouTube and stuff like that of it
Mhm.
happen, but I think it wasn't even a hate rate. It was like I think my first um and my only Veterans Day, I had like a couple of them come in, but it wasn't like thousands of them. So I think it was because I was new and nobody really
Mhm.
like it wasn't one of those things. But like we're gonna hate rate this guy that has one viewer and like 100 followers, right?
Yeah.
So it was not even worth their time. It's more so if it's somebody's like Sweet Tails or somebody like that that has 2K viewers and then like, okay, we're gonna hate rate, bam. So everybody sees it and it just happens and it happens and it happens. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of those too. It's like I didn't have to worry about it either because for one, I don't stream that often. Just here and there. So, but yeah, and I don't. I mean, I think my mods would have a heyday if somebody came in like that. They'd actually get to ban people. But so what drew you to content creating other than? I mean, have you felt? I guess let me ask this question. We know what drew you to, but have you felt that or creating content and streaming and stuff like that, has it helped you try to focus anyways?
It has. I think that's where like the ADHD, like, because when I enjoy something, I hyper fixate on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to make it perfect. So like I do that with some sports that I play, and um, so it's I definitely have had that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. Like we were talking in the beginning, it's just like I've always got to change things. I've always got to do this. I've always got to do that, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's a never ending process. It's like every 6 months you'll find a new stream.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I think I just got tired of creating. I mean, I'm sure if I find something new, a new, like you said, a new color or a new, type of branding or something like that, it's always interesting because you got to stay with the changes anyways. I mean, things change left and right, colors change, branding stuff changes, marketing stuff changes.
That's like technology for content creators. There's always a new platform coming out, or there's
Yeah.
some type of new website for like chat interaction.
Yeah.
And then it's like if you see somebody else do it and then everybody else is doing it, and you're like, I don't know, I'm gonna hold off, and then everybody else is doing it. So when you do it, everybody's already used to it. So
Yeah.
it's like makes your stream dull again, and so it's always trying to like try to find a way to stay ahead of everybody that maybe doesn't know about something.
Yeah, I can't believe how many web-based programs there are. I mean, I just in the last 3 months, searching for different things, different ways to do things. It's just like there's, all these streamer bots that you can find, all these browser sources like scene.gg and Pixel, and it's like,
I
oh
love
my gosh.
scene.gg.
Yeah, I
just found out about Pixel, so I haven't even played with it. I haven't even looked at it. I just heard about it on the good old TikTok app. So
yeah, we used he started out on Mixer. So if anybody was on Mixer, he was like a god when it came to Mixer bots. And then because that was what he focused around, and then when Twitch came around, I mean, he was the first one that actually transferred everything. He had everything up and running for Twitch within like a week.
Oh, wow.
He was able to transfer all his stuff over. So, he was ahead of Stream Elements or not Stream Elements, but some of the smaller bots that came through and like Mix Up and stuff like that. Yeah, it was just like he just flipped it. Basically, it looked like he flipped a switch and everything was ready to go on Twitch. But yeah, he was dedicated mainly to Mixer. I think he was embedded in the Mixer community and stuff like that. So, but I'm glad to see him branching out. He's branching out into a lot of different things. So he's a cool kid. I've talked to him a few times, and
that's
he's pretty
good.
cool. And
yeah, I do a lot of research on like where's the best to make content now, and it's like Twitch. I mean, Twitch is there, but it's like falling off, and it's like YouTube and Facebook, and now you have like Trovo that's like growing because it's like their payouts are so much better than Twitch's, and then now TikTok is like following Twitch's steps on having like live subscriptions, and
yeah,
which is like everybody's doing what Twitch has done, and they're making it better.
yeah. Yeah, Trovo's not bad. I mean, if you want to be a dedicated streamer and you can put the hours in, yeah, you can make some good money on Trovo.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm just going everywhere, so it's like I know my one buddy, he went from Twitch and went to Trovo's like exclusively for like 4 months, and he grew expandingly, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to do Twitch and Trovo because there's no limits to like Trovo, so it's like you can multi-stream and
Yeah.
and he went back to Twitch, and like he's doing Facebook and YouTube as well, and like he's growing so fast now because he went to Trovo, grew, and then he started doing like hover and stuff like that. And now he's doing successful, at least in my eyes. He's doing successful, which is good for him.
Yeah.
So
do you do hover? Do you like doing hover and TikTok and all that?
So TikTok, I'm like here and there. Like I just revamped my YouTube account because I was talking to somebody in Valhalla, and he's like really good with YouTube. And I had him look at my channel, and he's like, you're doing some good things here. Like some of my thumbnails were like catchy, so he was like, my advice is like if you want to have one specific style, and he showed me like a different YouTube creator that's relatively big. Um, and he has the same thumbnail. He just changes like the picture to it, but it's like a black covering on the left side,
Hmm.
and it's just a picture of him doing something or like pointing at the camera, like it's ever changing. But it's you always know that that thumbnail is just going to be a black on the left and something on the right, which I kind of adapted that and I made it my own unique way with like pictures of like either a game that I'm playing or of myself, just
Yeah.
so I stuck to that. And like um TikTok, I'm trying to like understand the algorithm because I know the algorithm is just so it changes every day, I feel.
Yeah.
So like if you know the algorithm every day, like good for you and you can get found.
I'm beginning to
Um
think that TikTok don't even know their algorithm as much as it changes.
yeah. It's like I've seen like there's a content creator, he's a music artist, and like he used to put hashtags and like ats in it, and like it what like he was doing good and then it just kind of dropped. And then he was talking, he did an interview, he's like, I went away from putting hashtags in. He's like, what I learned is it was hurting my reach by putting a hashtag in. And so he didn't have any hashtag and his reach grew, and he doesn't do that and it's doing pretty well. So and then hover's a funny a, f- a funny platform in my eyes, because when I first got on there, it was all about like gameplay and like gameplay, like hover talks is all called them hover talks.
Yeah.
Um, and then it went to just chatting, so it's like a lot of people don't have chatters in their in their chat, or it's like one or two, so it's like it's hard to catch a funny moment with interaction.
Yeah.
So it's like it's leaning more towards certain content creators that have a bigger platform already where they can make just chatting cover talks,
Yeah.
and it leaves the guys that are just about gameplay and trying to like so people can interact with them kind of like behind. So it's like hit or miss, I guess. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of them. I know it's just like I know Hover was changing the way they were supposed to be doing things. Or Trovo, I don't know if they're changing. I know they had Trovo's had a lot of creators leave them because of the fact of the pay to play or pay to win.
yeah.
I mean, Twitch used to do it too with the boost, which I think they got rid of the boost section, but because that was like short lived. I think it only lived like a year or so, but Trovo came out with the same thing with community chests. I know I had a lot of friends that had left Trovo because of the fact people were just coming in just to be there long enough to get the chest, and as soon as they got the chest, they would bounce and then go spend it on other streamers.
I think they got rid of that because I at least I know I don't have it,
Okay.
but I don't watch a lot of Trovo. I just go on and create content, and people come in and they talk and
Yeah.
follow and leave it at that. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's like okay, I'll see you when you come back in, whenever that is.
Yeah. What's up,
But
good
I feel
times?
like, I feel like creation now that COVID is over for the most part, like it's gonna be a lot harder on some platforms. Like I feel like Twitch is gonna be hard. Like Facebook, I think is gonna be easier because everybody has a Facebook.
Yeah.
Not everybody watches games, but everybody has a Facebook. So like if you're pushing out to like try to reach people and like use websites and like comes across somebody who plays video games but doesn't watch it on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" Like I know this past week I had like 45 new site visits to Facebook from, and I don't even run ads, so like I don't even know where it came
Nice.
from because I haven't posted a video because we're like done eating live streams in like a week and a half because my wife had COVID, so it's like
Oh.
all the kids I had to take care of, and I was like, I played video games at night, but I didn't stream because it'd be way too hectic.
Yeah.
So um so I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll do it. I'll go back this weekend and get back to it. And having breaks off, I feel, has been super helpful because when my wife was in the hospital, when she was in Texas with my little guy, like I was streaming 5 days a week, sometimes six.
Oh
And
wow.
I think I got to the point where it was like, so that was like 2 months straight, and I definitely got burnt out. I was like, I don't want to go live. Like I would look at Streamlabs and I'd be like, go live, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like hitting go live. I'll just play games. And I wasn't even like recording content. I was just playing just because it was like I was fed up with it, and I was like, I felt like I was forcing myself to go live. So I know my content was suffering from it.
Yeah.
So like now I'm doing 3 days a week or 2 days a week or 1 day a week, whatever that week presents itself. I can definitely feel better about making content because it's like I can put a lot into it and then take away from it.
No, definitely. I mean, everybody needs a break. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, all of us have been there to we've streamed constantly, and then it's just like one day you wake up, like you said, it's just like I don't want to go live anymore.
Yeah, and it's like I feel bad, but it's like I'm lucky that I don't have like a super big community where it's like, let's take like Sweet Tails or like Fruits Raider or somebody of that nature where they're always having like 1 to 2K, 3K people watching at a time and always talking. So it's like I don't know how like Tim the Tatman does it and like enjoys it, right? So or like Nick Merckx, like like knowing you have like 25K people watching.
Yeah.
And like you're just making content and having fun with it. Like I don't know how like that ever happens for me. Like I'll learn and go with it, but like right now looking at it, like man, that's so stressful and like I have so much anxiety just thinking about it. But like trying to read chat and like try to like be like, oh, I'm just watching it flow just upwards. You know, like what is going on? Like I need to slow down chat so I can read. Or like Tim on YouTube, like getting super chats in, or like just people donating, and then you have to like read it, and he's always like an hour behind schedule because there's so much going on and he gets so sidetracked on everything.
Yeah.
And so
he was like that on Twitch too, because I think like
I
his
know.
first, he'd always start, everybody else would start playing games, like Nick and all of them would start playing games at a certain time. He would always come on an hour early just to interact with his chat.
And he would still be late to get in. So
Yeah.
like you would sit there and like I love his food TikToks that he watches now.
Yeah.
Like I think that's my favorite segment is when he does food TikToks and he just sits there for 45 minutes while he's eating breakfast and watches food TikToks. So I think that's his number one go-to. And then so I haven't played Call of Duty in I don't know like 5-6 months because I just got tired of the game.
Yeah.
I just got tired of like them not fixing anything and they're like, hey, we're gonna add in Ghostface. Let's make this cool. Let's add in Ghostface and bring people into the game that love Scream, or like watching people play Caldera with Godzilla and King Kong.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
I'm like, come on.
That cracked me up. It's like
it just makes me fearful for Warfare 2. Like that's
yeah,
like that scares me because it's like
I haven't seen any of the trailers. I mean, I know there's been a few little trailers out there here and there, but I you know, just like me and a buddy were talking the other night, it's like I ain't buying another Call of Duty game. I mean, I've spent hundreds of dollars. Well, I've bought in the last 4, so you know, $50 a piece. And
I love FPSs, but I'm starting to get tired of them. Like I play Rainbow Six now, but I don't even. That was my main game that I grinded for so long. Like when I got a PC, I grinded it for like 6 to 7 months straight, like through 2 different seasons, or 3 different seasons.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point where it's like, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like I'm on an alternate on the Hala comp team, and we got signed up for a tier 3 league, and the tier 3 league just folded. So it's like okay, you know, I'm not gonna grind anymore just because I'm not gonna play it now.
Yeah.
Like I'll play it here and there. So it's like I've gone more towards like first person games, like Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out. Like I played that for a long time. Like never had PlayStation, so when God of War came out, I was like, yeah, I'm snagging God of War so I can finally play it. And it's one of my it's it's in my top games now. Excuse me, I can let my dog.
Oh, you're good. But what's up, good times? How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? I appreciate you guys being here. While he goes and lets his dog out, I totally understand about letting dogs out. I have to lock mine out of the room now. So, but I appreciate everybody's got it. Oh, excuse me. Appreciate everybody being here. So what's everybody doing on Saturdays? How was everybody's day? Did you guys have a good day? Also, anybody that's in here that has any questions or anything that you want to ask at all about his career, content creating, anything else like that, just type them in chat, and he sees them. So, and if not, I'll reiterate. Yeah, I'll tell him. Words are hard, but appreciate you guys being here. It's an awesome day. Anyways, also make sure that you go over and get some go. Where's my mouse? Mouse ran away. Make sure you go get some apple pucker. Go get you some apple pucker. If you go now to Freshen Up Hydration, they have cans now. They have cans. You can order canned energy drinks. So go over there and check out their new lineup. Check out what they have. But while you're there, get some apple pucker. It's our branded signature flavor through them. So, and also make sure that you go over and check out Sword Dog. Sword Dog has some awesome merc that we have out. But
right.
No, I totally understand dogs. I gotta lock mine out, so because mine'll they're okay until about halfway through me talking, and then they decide they want to be part of the show.
My dog usually does unless she's hungry, so like she's definitely camera shy.
Oh, mine's not. My
Yeah,
pup isn't, anyways.
we actually have exciting news. We just partnered with Freshen Up now, so
Oh, did you? Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had our meetings with them I think like 5 or 6 days ago. So
Nice. Congrats. Yeah, they're pretty good
Yeah.
company. We had Jordan on a few weeks ago, and it was really eye-opening, because he told us a lot about how he, how he started his company and everything else and what he puts into his stuff. And I'm just sold to the fact that it's, it's all natural. I mean, there's nothing fake about it. So,
which is good. I know that's the conversations that they had with our CEO and our president were definitely good, and so
yeah.
I wasn't part of it, so I can't really say much or know anything really about it. I just know that we partnered up with them, and
Yeah.
it's already a good friendship from what I've seen. So
Yeah, Jordan's from what I've talked to Jordan, through the interview and through doing stuff like this, he's a pretty good guy, and the company is, it's a mom and pop company, what I call a mom and pop company, and there's a lot of personal attention to people, so that's kind of cool too.
so like the vision that I know that they told us about was like, instead of just being they want to be a one-stop shop instead of
Yeah.
trying to reach out and go different avenues. It's just gonna be bam, you're with us, and we're gonna have everything that you can possibly think of. So
Yeah, they're, like I said, it was impressive to hear, how he started and everything else. So if you guys want to check that video out, it's on the highlights of this channel, and then the snip clips of how he made it through the pandemic and anything is on the YouTube channel, which I still have not got socials up for those yet. Thumper boy, what's happening, dude? But yeah, so talking about Stack Up, so how did you find Stack Up?
so I was in a Discord called Salty NCOs, and Didi from Stack Up is in there, and so he, like, everybody always talked about Stack Up. So one day I checked out their website, and they had a PC retrofit, and I was like,
Mhm.
well, let's go check this out. Like, I didn't know anything about Stack Up, so I was just looking at their different different things that they do, and I was like, I need a new PC, and I was like, I'm gonna put my name in just to see what happens. So I told them I was a creator and like this and that, and like 3 months later, I think his name was Dave. He reached out, was like, hey man, we got a PC coming your way in the next couple weeks. Keep an eye out on your email for tracking numbers. And I think it was like December 1st. He was like, hey man, your PC's being shipped out. Here's everything. And it came like, or he was like, get ready, it's going to be coming. And then got the email with the numbers and stuff. It was like December 13th. I got it. I did my video for Stack Up, and that the rest was history. And I've told a couple people to go into,
Yeah, no, it's
like, go there and check out check out. I know one of my buddies filled out for a PC because he's in the IT field,
Mhm.
and he's in school right now, and he's just working from a laptop. I'm like, bro, you need to have a PC for some of the stuff you're going to be doing. So I know he reached out for a PC retrofit, and I don't know where that's at. And I know I reached out to Dave, and I was like, hey, my buddy did this. So it's like I told him, so it was like kind of like, you know how like that, I don't know the word I'm looking for, like a vouch, like I'm vouching
Yeah,
for him.
yeah, yeah.
So to see if if that does anything, because I don't know that they don't say it does or not. So I'm hoping it does, and he gets a PC soon,
Heck
because I know
yeah.
it's a first come first serve deal, and I don't know what company they're working with now, but I know their PCs are going to be a lot better.
Yeah, I can't remember. I seen the brand new one that they just came out with. They just put it on Twitter. It's pretty sick, actually. Um, oh god, I can't remember. But it's a custom built PC that they did for a giveaway, and the thing looks sweet.
I don't know if you ever seen Overkill. I know Overkill PCs.
Mhm.
The guy's a vet, and they did 2 custom built Memorial Day PCs, and it's the PCs look like they're solid white and they're painted, and it's like they have war scenes from every war
Oh,
up
cool.
until like recently, and it's like it's also liquid cooled with red, white, and blue liquid running through the PC, and so it's like a veteran will get one, and the veteran will give it to a civilian friend, and it's like the front of the PC has like the Statue of Liberty on it, like it's the sickest looking PC I think I've ever seen, and it's got all the bells and whistles on it. So it's got like a Intel 12K on it, 3090, like it's overpowered
Damn.
for PC. Yeah, it's one of the best builds that I've probably will ever see in my entire life.
I was trying to see if oh, there it is. Stince built, STINCE is who
Okay,
they're
they're
working for
working with
now.
Stints. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Stints is a good company. I know a lot of Facebook creators that are part of Stints builds. So
Yeah, but yeah, if you get a chance to look, it's actually on Stince's website or Twitter feed. They've got the stack up PC that they custom built for him. It's like, wow. I think that's the ones they're going to be shipping out now.
which is crazy because mine is just a normal black case with a Ryzen 7 5800X 3060 Ti with it came with just 3 fans. So from the company, I really don't want to say their name now
Yeah.
because of what they've been through and what they did. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I really do. It's
Yeah.
just now knowing the background of the company, I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah, they just teamed up with them the 1st of June, so
good.
yeah, it's a pretty sweet PC. I mean, I don't know if it's like something they're just going to be doing for their giveaways or what, but it looks pretty cool. And then they also teamed up with Velocilinks, which is a peripheral company. So that'll be good too. Yeah. I mean, I'm a stream team member over there. That's all I do is stream team, and then I, help promote some of their dono drives and stuff like that. I was kind of shocked today when I opened up my door and I found a care package out there from them. I thought it was just another shirt and a thank you thing. Now they sent me a new headset and a new mouse.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
So it's just like, wow, just for being on the stream team.
Yeah, and I know for me with that company that I'm not going to talk about, like it put a bad taste in like reaching out to sponsors, and like
yeah,
now it's like I don't want to reach out to any sponsors until like I feel like I've grown to a point where like I feel like I can reach out, just
yeah,
because it was like they accepted everybody, and I was like, man, I was so happy about it at first, and then as I watched tweets come out, man, hey, I'm affiliated with this here, and I'm like, okay, I see where this is going, and it's like And then when that whole thing happened, I'm like, man, all right,
Yeah.
here's my resignation letter.
Yep. I did the same thing. I fell into it too. I got the little DMs and they're saying, "Hey, you want to join us?" And then come to find out everybody else got the same tweet.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same way with you. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I've been doing this for almost 4 years now. And, you know, and I was like one of those in the beginning. It's like every time somebody sent something, it's like, oh yeah, I grab it. You know, I want to be a part. You know, now as you learn a little bit down the road that, you know, some of them are, you know, I guess if you want like the experience of getting involved with somebody, it'd be a good thing, but you know, don't
I think that's what I'm
get
happy
rich.
about is I got that experience, even though it wasn't good experience.
Yeah.
It taught me what to look out for.
Yeah.
And like how to like conduct myself, like if the opportunity does arise, to make sure I do my research beforehand
Yeah.
about the company, what's its core values, and then make my decision based off of smart ethics and having knowledge about it instead of be like, yeah, this is my first opportunity, let's go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I fell into it, you know, with a couple of, you know, the energy companies and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's like, I don't know, you hear that word sponsor or ambassador or anything else, and it's just like, oh, cool, you know, it sounds like you mean something. And then when you, like you said, you find out there's like hundreds of people that are the same thing, and it's just like, okay, it's not that very exclusive.
yeah.
But you know, don't get me wrong, it's a good learning experience if you want to learn how to do advertising and stuff like that, which I mean, you have to advertise your stream. That'd be a good way to start at some of those companies. But
Yeah, and like what they were like every 15 minutes they wanted like the sponsor announcement, and I'm like okay. And then I realized like if I don't have anybody chatting, like it's not going to go off.
mm-hmm.
So unless I type in the exclamation mark and be
Yeah.
like, hey, exclamation blah blah blah, and then it'll come up. So
Yeah. So what other kind of games do you, I mean, have you, like I said, we talked a little bit about games and stuff like that. You know, there aren't really any good games going on right now.
right now
Hmm.
I'm playing the Star Wars saga, the Lego game.
Oh, are you?
Oh my god, I love it. I've always loved Lego games, but they've taken all of the Lego Star Wars games that they've produced and they put them into one. They've added like different types of cutscenes into it that make it more enjoyable, but like the gameplay for it, because I always played on console, so I
Mhm.
never really played on PC. And like my first time playing, I was like, wow, the graphics for this are so amazing. Like I can't even explain like how smooth the game runs, especially for a game that just came out. Like I was like, if you compare it to like Call of Duty or let's say Halo, because they had a terrible opening run,
Yeah.
and same thing with Battlefield, like they had a terrible opening run. Like for a game that just came out, like I've had no bugs, no issues. It runs
Nice.
smooth. I'm able to like stream it for like 2-3 hours straight without any overheating issues, and that's running on ultra.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so it's like it's been smooth. And I also just downloaded and I've been playing Sniper Elite 5,
Yep.
which I've ran into like 2 glitches into the game, which is they've been like weird glitches where it's like I go play in a C4 and I wind up inside um a gun, so like an artillery, an anti-aircraft gun.
Oh,
So
jeez.
yeah, so like you can look around, you can see down the tube into into the map, and you're like, oh, this is what this projectile feels like when it's about to be shot. So you just see an open tube and you're like, and then hope that you get shot out.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's kind of like, what was it? I noticed the other day, I thought they had it fixed, but I ran into the weapons or the camo glitch on Rebirth. And I
I
did
feel
that.
like that comes back like every 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I never had it. You know, I've watched everybody else that I played with had it, but I never had it. And then I finally got it the other night. And it's like, what the hell? It's like,
Or like that invisibility glitch, or I've seen the invisibility glitch. Like I haven't played it, but I always watch like Z Laner and like Destroyer, like Tim the Tatman play, and they
Mm,
always come across like somebody with a that glitch, the invisibility glitch or like a stim glitch, and I'm like,
yep.
man, must really suck like to come across that.
But it's just
And then
like,
even like hackers, like when I was playing, like the last time I like fully played the game 100%, it was still in Verdansk. It was like season 5, and that's when the hacker issue was like
mm,
really rampant. Like it was hackers everywhere, even like plunder.
yeah.
Like I would go and plunder and try to get away from it, and then I'd start getting beamed out of the sky just so a person gets kills to level up their weapon,
Yeah.
even though they could just get the hack to do it. And so
Yeah. I don't know. I'm one of those people. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to hack. I wouldn't want to know how to hack.
yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to learn.
I mean, I don't
And it's
understand.
like,
I don't understand the point because I mean, yeah, it's going to get you up in the rankings of whatever you're doing, but you're never going to compete like in
who was it? It
the
was
World
Joe
League or
or
anything.
it was like Joe, I think, or maybe J God, and they had they interviewed a hacker, and like we only hack because we get paid for it because they go and like the top creators like Zlaner, Doc, and all them, and they get paid to try to get them the end their stream from hacking, right?
Oh, okay.
So like there'll be like hits of like 5K if you can get Doc to end stream for hacking, which is pretty easy because he gets pissed off anyway.
Yeah.
So, or like there'll be like a 10K bounty if you can get Tim to like turn the game off or just end stream because of hacking. And like I don't know if that's still going on. I'm pretty sure it is, but it's
So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Content is content, right? So I guess yeah.
right. Like if you're stoned, like you do hacked or cracked, and usually it's somebody's hacking. So it's I love Stone Mountain's like hacked or cracked series when he comes across a hacker and it's openings like hacked or cracked, and it goes into like you decide if this guy's hacking or not, and it's like blatant he's hacking. It's just funny. So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't- Yeah, it always cracked me up, especially because I always wondered. It's just like like you said, they, when Tim started doing the little, he'd find a hacker in his stream or whatever, and he'd start basically, talking to him, while he was spectating, and then once you knew the guy was either sniping him or something because he was always responding to whatever Tim was asking. I don't know, some of that.
oh
Kind of
yeah,
stuff
like
was,
buy me a car. I think that's the
Yeah.
most famous one is buy me a car. And he was holding a tournament and buy me a car was in it, and like buy me a car is always wanted um wanted him to buy him a car, or it's like, and then at some point it was like get me a PC. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I just don't understand. If you're hacking for those kind of things, I can understand because you're getting paid to hack. It's a different story. But I mean, if you're doing it just to be a shit in the game, I don't understand that because you're not going to go nowhere. All you're doing is just making.
no,
I mean, we actually got a hacker right when Ricochet started. We actually got a hacker kicked while we were watching him after he killed us. We spectated him. And it was like, he was like, oh, I would have pissed me off too, because he was like down to I think the last 3 people. And they literally kicked him out of the game and said such and such has been removed. It's like, yeah. But
see, I think Ricochet's smart. Like they leave the hacker in the game now, but they just like take away bullet damage.
Yeah.
So like you'll see him shooting, and it's shooting marshmallows, and they'll like I've seen like face swag like sit there, and the guy was shooting him, and then he'll just crouch and like throw his weapons down and like shake his head no, just because he knows he's caught, but it's not going to stop him.
Oh, no.
So
I think a lot of it is just like when we were kids, it's just about the challenge. It's like, how far can we go? But so, what are the things you got planned for your stream? What, I mean, you have your podcast and stuff like that.
yeah, the podcast for Valhalla is coming up, but usually like my streams are just Saturday, Sunday, Monday nights at 8 o'clock, and it's just a fun time. Like I try at least try to do just chatting and just talk about randomness and for
Yeah.
like 20 minutes or so, and then I'll just go into games. I do like playing with viewers, so it's in a way to interact and then have you come in. So that's usually when I'm playing like Rainbow Six. Is like I'll have people come in. I've had a lot of people come in from Trovo
Oh,
that
nice.
just find me and they're like they'll come in and want to play and like I'm like okay and like I have no problems with it. It's I should vet them first off like I should vet them, but it's I mean I'll find out if I'm playing and I hear I mean they're creators so it's just
Yeah.
figuring out what type of creator are they when I'm playing with them, and then I'll make my decision after that.
Yeah.
But for the most, I don't think I've ever had a bad apple so far.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
not. I mean, it's gonna happen at some point,
Oh
but
yeah.
it hasn't happened now. So
Yeah, I quit playing with. I mean, I still play with viewers, but you got to basically. I mean, I, I don't know. It depends on what we're doing. I mean, if I'm playing with some people and we have like an open spot, usually we pull followers in. But I don't know. I just got the idea. I got tired of like you said because I have run into a lot of those that are turds and stuff like that, and it's just like okay. So basically, now on my channel, when I do game, you have to have. There's actually a channel point down there that you have to redeem. So basically, you don't have to be on my channel for maybe at least a stream or something like that, so I can get to know you to play. Because
yeah,
I don't know. I was hacked in February. All my stuff was like my Discord was hacked. A lot of my program or accounts were hacked. So I got really on edge about letting people in.
oh, but yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, because I totally lost a decent sized. It wasn't an active, but I mean it was a decent sized Discord and stuff like that that had a lot of different names and stuff that kind of irritated me. But yeah, instead of trying to get it back, I just called this or got a hold of Discord and said, delete it. It's been hacked. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, which I know there's some people that like try to fight to get back, and I'm like, I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation. So it depends on how big, I guess, how many people I have in the Discord to begin with. So
I learned one lesson from it. Do not put your payment information in there. Because I mean,
yeah,
the dude like donated like $600 worth of nitros to people. And I started getting these PayPal notifications left and right. It's like, oh crap. I mean, I got it all back. PayPal was really nice because I emailed them immediately and told them, hey, I've been hacked. This was not my normal spending budget. So they refunded all that back.
oh, that's good.
But yeah, and they shut down my account and restarted everything and put everything back. And I mean, PayPal was really, really, really good, and they acted really, really fast on it. And like I said, Discord was really good. As soon as I got a hold of something from them, I told them I was hacked and gave them the information because I was able to get in my account every once in a while, with the 2-factor authentication, but he'd always found a way to kick me out. And so the last time I got in just enough time to where I could I kicked everybody out of it and deleted all my servers that I was a part of in it. And basically all he had was a brand new shell. And
That's good. That's smart to get rid of everybody. Like that's smart.
But yeah, it was just crazy because it's like, I just went in and started kicking. It's like kick, and deleted all my channels and everything else. And it's like, nah. So playing with viewers now, I'm kind of like I said, I've got to know you a little bit before I play. Saracel, how you doing? Welcome in.
I'll be right back. I gotta let it out.
Okay, no problem. How you guys doing tonight? What's happening? Appreciate you being here. Hope you guys are doing good. We're talking with Bravo Gaming, military vet, and if you go back and watch the beginning of this video, when it gets done, he's got some pretty interesting stuff about his military career. So I really thought that was very, very interesting. But yeah, don't worry about doing that. I used to constantly let my dogs out left and right. So it's like, oh, I'll be right back. But when I do these, it's like, okay, y'all getting out. They're outside the door right now whining. But so one of the things too is like, okay, I like getting everybody's input, because I know a lot of people say, well, I'm not big enough to do this, but I still like giving everybody's input. You've been here long enough. You've been in the scene long enough. If I was a new streamer and stuff like that coming into your channel, what would be something, give me 3 things that that you found out that has helped you that you think would be helpful to other people starting out
Get
streaming?
used to. So like the first one I would say is like get used to talking to yourself. Um, because like when you're starting off, even now, like I still have like I still have a lot of periods of time where I'm playing games and like I have like one or two people, maybe even like 5 to 10 people in there, and they're just lurking and nobody's chatting. So it's like I know at any moment somebody could come in and want to talk. So it's like I'm always constantly talking to myself. Um, and like just talking about random things about the game or like stuff going on during the world, like to try to keep it non-political, like some interesting things. Um, just to always be active or like have like play random things on stream. Like I have a Darth Vader crushing my head with something. It's like a piece of a building just crushing my head,
Oh,
like
cool.
like slamming it down on my head. Like I'll play that every like 10 to 15 minutes, or like sounds, just random sounds going off.
Mhm.
Um, just so if somebody comes in, they hear it, be like, yo, that's cool. Let's have a conversation. I have a bunch of different bots that like that'll do random things to like and try to interact with people. Like nothing of like, hey, welcome into the like somebody new comes in. Um, Another thing is for new streamers, I always see chat engagement. If you have people in and they're chatting, you're not responding, like I think that's the number one killer is like of like having retention is like you just have to have engagement. Like one thing I've definitely learned is like having just chatting streams, like in the beginning, just chat, just talk. People will find you. I have it constantly now. Like if I have just chatting up for like 25 minutes, even if I'm playing a game I have just chatting, it's somebody like people will come in they'll and just have conversations. Like I'll literally just stop playing the game. I'll go back to my face cam and like just talk, and like I'll have chat up on the one side and like we're just talking, and then if they ask what game I'm playing, I'll show them the game, go into the game, we'll talk about the game. But definitely, I think chat engagement is like number two, and like um having a set schedule. I think is the top three for me. Is don't do pop up streams, even though if you want to, I would suggest not to, and especially like in the beginning if you're trying to make affiliate. Because like
Yeah.
I offboarded, like I was an affiliate, I offboarded just because I want to be across all the platforms. Um, is set a schedule and do 2 hour increments in the beginning. And don't do more, don't do less. What I found is like I know the way I made affiliate pretty quick is all the things that we talked about, but I also had a small schedule. So I would go live 2, 3 times a week. So I would meet the minimum requirements for like time streamed. I think it's what 12 hours and or it's 24 hours in the month,
Yeah.
and like 50 followers and 3 concurrent viewers. Like that's for me that was hard because I don't have family members that watch Twitch, so it was like that was hard for me. But I was able to get those numbers because I was engaging, and as soon as I hit 2 hours, I would end stream. So any bad streams that I had, they would start going away because I was having higher and better streams. So within like a 2 month period, I made affiliate after I learned the process,
Yeah.
and like having no viewers and like streaming to no viewers. Like if I was at like a half hour and I had no viewers, I would just end stream. Like I would just get off and just be done. So I didn't. That wasn't a huge mark against me.
Yeah.
And then if the next stream I had, it was like I was at 5 viewers. I'd be like, okay, now it evened out to like 2.5 instead of 0. It'd be 2.5. So it would work its way out. So it's like learning that and knowing the limits and setting limits for yourself. So definitely schedule. Schedule is definitely having a set schedule in the beginning. Even now, like if you're bigger, you should have a set schedule so everybody knows what time you're going to be on, when you're going to be on. So
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. It's yeah, set schedules are they're hard for some people. It's like for me, I mean, I could, but like I said, I'm focused more on this side of it now than I am, the talk show side of it. Um, but when I do go live, I try to go live on the weekends.
Yeah.
That's what my banner says when you go into my offline banner says live, on the weekend. So I try at least go live somewhere down, either Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday night. But
yeah, that's like me. I haven't touched my about me section in a long time. and I just looked at it the other day. I'm like, wow, I really got to update my my schedule because it says like I go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from like 7 o'clock to like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So it was like I had to go in and change it real quick and then set it to what I need to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and like I said, with real life, it's kind of hard to, you know, unless this is what unless you have the time to do it, you know, but you got to make sure you filter in everything else, family, you know, job, everything else.
Like,
so
that's like now, like I got my kids are calling for me. So it's like, I was like, yeah, I gotta get done this sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because I know they're calling for me and it's kind of hard because usually when I call for them or like when they call for me, I'm like, hey, what's up? So
Yeah.
and I know my wife actually just got called in, like she works from home, so like she actually just got called into work. So she's like, I'm struggling here. I'm like, okay. So
no, I totally understand that. But yeah, those are great. Sarah, so I get told I talk too much, but yeah, talk. You know,
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, that's the number one thing is just talk. Learn to talk to yourself. Talk to yourself in the mirror, like when you're first starting, and have conversations with yourself. I know that sounds lunatic, but I know what that helped me is I learned that in the I signed up for Pipeline with Stone Mountain and Snoopy, and I learned that, and like that was the one thing to like if you're streaming to nobody, start talking to yourself, look at your content, and ask yourself if this is something that you would watch. Like if you're watching like Tim the Tatman and compared to yours, right? So, that's helped me, and then a couple military creators like Super Yak. I don't know if you ever heard of them, and Crow Gaming. Like they have been super helpful for me. And same thing with Valhalla. Like some of the people in Valhalla, like talking with them and like things that I can change. Like I'm always talking and learning different things. But yeah, the number one everything that everybody is always talking about is talking.
Yep.
Don't have any dull moments in stream because at that time that you're not talking, somebody's going to come in and see you're not looking at chat and talking, and they're like, "Oh, well, you just lost a follower or you just lost a chatter because you're not engaging with me right away." So
yeah, I mean, it's just like broadcast, you know, just like radio broadcasters. That's the reason why you always hear them talking, you know, because, you know, people can't see them, but they can hear them. And if there's dead air, that's one of the big thing is dead air is a killer.
Yeah.
But cool. Yeah. This has been an awesome conversation. I learned a lot tonight. And like I said, again, thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, thank you for having me. It's been an honor to just chat and talk. So
yeah, get to know you. Like I said, this is what these conversations are for. They're not interviews. They're not talks. I changed them. They're conversations because you get to know a lot about the person, and hopefully this kind of helps out with, you know, people that come through and see, oh, this is a cool guy. You know, he's got a lot of information, a lot of experience, and
I mean, that's like how do you say Sarasol?
Yeah.
Saying like get told that he or she talks too much. I don't think that's an actual problem. I think that's a good thing if you talk too much.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking, conversation is going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you never know who's lurking out there. Because you can't pay attention to Twitch stuff because half the stuff that their stats don't. If you watch the view counts.
Yeah, like
it'll zoom up,
when I get done stream the next morning, it'll be like I had like 35 viewers, right? Or it'll be like 105. But when I look at like live count, it says 5.
Yeah.
You're like what?
Yeah, that always cracks me up. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, towards the end of every show, I like doing like a 10-question rapid fire question. It's just kind of like off the wall questions. You can answer them as fast as you can, or you can think about them a little bit. But
all right, cool.
So who is your inspiration?
Sweet Tales.
Sweet Tales.
Yep.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Which subjects were you worst at school?
Math.
Oh, hated math. What advice would you give your younger self?
Stay the course. Don't change anything.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
What is something that you like doing outside of this?
Playing golf and playing ice hockey and spending time with my kids.
Ooh, ice hockey. I've always wanted to try that. But we
It's
don't.
fun.
It's never cold enough around here to do ice hockey.
I mean, I live in Florida where it's hot most of the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and like it's the rinks inside they stay pretty cold. So
Chocolate or vanilla?
hot chocolate.
If you could be any animal, what would it be?
A wolf.
What is something you don't like?
Oh, arrogance.
No, nice. What would you change about yourself?
I talk too much. Actually, like outside of streaming, I talk way too much. Like I don't pick out social cues very often. So like if I'm talking about something and somebody's not interested, I don't pick up on that. So I just keep talking about something. So I
got
think
this
that's the one thing I would definitely change for myself.
guilty as charged on that one too. Would you rather find your dream job or win the lottery?
I would say win the lottery because what I'm doing now is my dream job. So
Nice. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out and hanging out. If you guys have any questions for him real quick, while I try to find somebody to raid, go ahead and pop them into chat. Like I said, Sarasol, appreciate being here. Thupper Boy, appreciate you guys being here. But let me see who I can find. No. But so when do you think the you'll have everything together for the podcast?
probably like next week or two. Like I'm just finishing up on like overlay stuff and like what I like, what I don't like about it. And then I know inside of Valhalla, I'm gonna do like a test run with somebody in there to ask questions and see how it runs. And I'm just gonna record it instead of just streaming. I'm just gonna record it and see my takeaways from it,
Oh, okay.
and then takeaways and add twos so that I can not do it on the run to see like where my lulls are, if I'm not talking or if I'm talking too much or not letting the guest talk or stuff like that. So it's like I learn my tendencies so I can just hash it out right away and then get the product rolling.
Well, I tell you what, it's like there's a lot of people is like when they talk on me is like they're always talking about nervous about doing a talk show and stuff like that. And trust me, I get nervous on every show, so I don't think it ever goes away. But yeah, talk shows are fun. I love them.
I was watching, so it was like, yeah, something I want to do, and let's see how it goes because I know I'm anxious now, and I was anxious before we started. So
yeah, like I said, they're fun. I was trying to figure. I can't get into let's see. Oh, here we go. Mitsu Chris, we're gonna go do him. We're gonna go raid him. He's a pretty cool. He's with Get Wet Sports. Oh no, wrong one. Back. I didn't realize there was two people with almost the same name. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, when we raid, we just raid for the streamer. We don't raid for the channel. So make sure you guys go over and just say hi. And if you like the content, hit them with that follow and everything else. But we're gonna go raid Mitsu Chris. He's playing Apex Legends right now, and like I said, he's a pretty talented content creator too. He's part of the Get Wet library. Actually, I think he's part of the Get Wet premium side. But we'll be back on Tuesday night. I believe we have. What is this Tuesday? I believe we have Garnett on Tuesday night. On my calendar. Oh my God. Oh no, we got Thumper Boy. Thumper Boy's coming on Tuesday night. So make sure you guys come back and see that for the Get Wet Tuesday night. And we got a bunch of announcements, so I might be on a little early. I think we got like 24 announcements to do.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he went a little overboard on adding to the library over the weekend. So, well, with Pride Month, Military Month, everybody else, everybody just kind of jumped
Yeah.
on board. So we got at least 24 that I know of so far. So that's a good deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. You guys are doing that. So like, it's a great way to like find different creators. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, we've got a lot of things planned for this. It's just getting everybody on board and everybody together at the same time to get everything worked out. And this was the number one focus, is getting the Twitch channel up and running. So, yeah, I'm going to be happy to see what it's like by the end of the year when everybody gets on board and gets everything going. But
yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it too. So
yep. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being a part. And like I said, I appreciate everything you've done. And thank you for taking the time out to do this.
oh, thank you for having me, and you're welcome.
Especially after, I heard about, having to deal with family and stuff like that. So I appreciate you hanging around
Yeah.
with me for a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're going to bounce. We're going to go Mitsukuris. And you guys have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you on Tuesday. I guess here in about 8 seconds. I don't have
Kind of
any.
love Static Wall.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a good
All right,
night.
see ya.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.